Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with a brand new Cabral concept. Today is episode 2482, and we're going to be going over how to add 3+ years to your life in just 8 weeks of this protocol. This is new research that I want to share with you. It is literally cutting edge epigenetic based research, which means we can actually understand how long someone essentially has left to live. You can look at it that way. I know not everybody does, and that's okay. Or you can say, how can we reverse biological age, which I think is a more appropriate measure. So it's something called the Horvath clock. I'll be talking about this in much more in-depth analysis, but what we do is we take someone's age. Okay, so let's say that you are 45 years old. All right, so that's your chronological age. And then what we want to do is we want to actually look at your biological age. All right, we're going to look at that through epigenetics. It's basically how quickly you are aging through your genetics or how slowly you're aging. So you can actually age slower than your chronological age, or you can age faster. And it has a lot to do with methylation in your body. So when we look at it, it's actually your DNA age. Your DNA methylation age is how we're looking at it. Now, it's not the only factor. I like to take into account telomeres, not the only thing, but I want to look at someone's alleles. And then I can say, okay, this 45-year-old person is actually 57 years old biologically. All right, so 45-year-old human, chronological, now 57 biological. All right, so if you do math on a podcast, that's 12 additional years, right? So if the average age, and let's say they're a male, is 74 years, now I have to do like real math. So 74 minus 57 is going to be, they have 17 years potentially left to live. Now again, this is not, a lot of people try to say like, this is the telltale sign for how long you're going to live. It's not. It is, I can tell you it's not, and here's why. Because some people have a lot of methylation mutations in their genes. So they've got MTHFR-based issues, then it leads, they have COMT issues, et cetera. I won't go too deep into those today. We'll save that for another show. But what it can mean is that they basically look like, let's say that 57-year-old is kind of like where they're at, or they're always like 1 or 2 years above their lifespan, but they're in check within their body, meaning like there's no disease, there's no chronic disease, there's no inflammatory levels, they just have methylation issues that are off. Now, the nice thing is, no matter who you are, the worst genetics or the best genetics, what we've seen is that you can actually implement a simple protocol to take off at least 3 years on your biological age, meaning give you 3 more years to live, potentially, maybe even more, by doing these things, and the sooner the better. And the amazing thing was this only happened in 8 weeks. So what if the study was 4 months, right? Or what if the study was 6 months or a year? Do we think that biological age would increase? And I can tell you without a doubt, yes. We offer this to private clients, but we'll be offering it to everyone come January. So literally in like 6 weeks or so, we'll be offering biological age testing to anybody, anywhere. And then you'll be able to retest in the next at 12 weeks after implementing a protocol and actually see your biological age go down. It's really impressive. We've been doing this for a long time in our practice, but we've been really waiting for a simple way to test at home outside of blood work, and now you can do it with just a simple finger prick or saliva. So it's very, very easy. All right, so this is a PubMed study. I'm going to link it up for you here today, and I will link it at stevencabral.com/2482. And this is basically how to add 3.23 years, extra years, to your life in just 8 weeks. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the excerpt. It's a long article, well worth your time if you'd like to read it, but I'm gonna give you the summary, and that's what I hope to be able to do, is read the research for you, and you can tune into the show, and then you can always ask questions as well. All right, so we're looking at the Horvath clock. That's the basically DNA parameters that we look at right now. I use it in my own practice, and then I just go deeper beyond that as well. But I love the Horvath clock, and be talking about that in much more depth. But essentially what happened was there were diet and lifestyle treatment plans for individuals between the ages of 50 and 72. This will work when you're younger, there's no doubt about it, but as you get older, just even more important, right? So they actually looked at certain markers within the blood, but then they looked at this DNA age-based test. All right, so here we go. Let me actually share with you what they did. I'll get to the specific study modulators. All right. So there were dietary implementations to improve overall health. And they said modest but significant is what they looked at. So like the diet was helpful. The diet was helpful, but believe it or not, it wasn't the number one thing. It wasn't even close. But here's what they gave people. Lean meat. Okay. So non-specific lean meat, not fatty meat, lean meat, fish, and plant-based diet. All right, measured by carotenoids. Let's talk about that as like antioxidants, right? Polyphenols. So that's what they did. And I'm going to give you the actual diet they put people on. So if you want to implement it, even better. Great. All right. So then they also gave people a high nutrient supplement that gave them more methyl factors like methylfolate and betaine, right? You might see it as TMG. So on our activated B complex, this has those methylation factors. And it has the TMG. Not a lot of people add that to trimethylglycine, or it's called betaine. Okay, same thing. So they did that, found great success with that. And then they also added vitamin C, additional vitamin A, and let's see what else. Polyphenic modulators, such as curcumin, right? So turmeric, you've heard of that before. EGCG, rosmarinic acid, also known as rosemary, but the specific extract, quercetin, and lutein. So again, these are things we've been talking about natural health for many, many years. There's a product called Inflammasoothe with all of these and many more. A product I use every day called Hispro and Cell Boost with all of these and many more. But it's great to see these studied, right? It's so great to see these studies. And they also gave a limited number, meaning once a week, essentially, of liver. Actually, there was 3 ounces a couple times a week of liver and eggs. So, and they actually stated, I was impressed by this, pastured eggs. And I'll get to that in just a moment. I'll give you the actual nutrition plan for you, okay? So again, I'll link all of this up for you. Head on over to stephencabral.com/2482, and I'll actually just give you the diet that they gave these people of what to eat in a week. Now, they did intermittent fasting, which was amazing. I'll share with you how long the fast was. What else? Lower glycemic foods. They added a nutritional supplement, daily fruit and vegetable blend. How amazing is that? Again, like really great to see that. Why? Because it's very high in polyphenolic modulators, right? So what does that help with? Well, it helps with methylation, it's antioxidants, helps to squelch free radical damage, inflammation, and much more. All right. And then they also added in 30 minutes per day, 5 days a week of moderate to higher exercise, intensity exercise. So 60 to 80% of max heart rate. I have a whole podcast on how to find your max heart rate, but it's for a general way to look at it, 220, use the number 220 minus your age. All right. So 220 minus, let's say 40, 180 is your max. And then just multiply that by 0.6 to 0.8, and that's going to get where your heart rate would be. All right. So basically, rated perceived exertion, a 6 to an 8. You're moving. You're working your body. It's a real workout, like high intensity interval training based workout, just for 30 minutes. Okay. So that was amazing. And then they also added a how to then calm the body. So they did a relaxation response, breath work techniques. Some people might have done Tai Chi as well. Okay, twice daily relaxation response exercise. That's basically breath work, calming the sympathetic nervous system. All right, so now let me give you the exact plan. That's what it was. So that doesn't sound too crazy, right? But now I'm actually going to give you exactly what they did. Let's pull it up. All right, here it is. So this was the guidance they gave people. They would have 3 servings of liver each week. 1 serving equals 3 ounces. 3 ounces is like about half the size of your palm, maybe like 2 fingers. If you have, thicker fingers, two fingers. All right. They wanted organic eggs, ideally free range, organic, and omega-3 enriched, because they believe in omega-3s just like we do. Right. The next step was 2 cups of dark leafy greens. It could be kale, could be Swiss chard, could be collards, could be spinach, could be mustard greens, could be dandelion greens. This is on a daily basis now, okay? So eggs, not every day. Liver, not every day. Now, every day, dark leafy greens, all right? I like doing purple lettuce, and I like getting all those different colors in there, all right? So It does not include salad greens like iceberg or romaine. That was interesting. So it has to be dark leafy greens. Then, so 2 cups a day of that, 2 cups of cruciferous vegetables a day. Could be broccoli, could be cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, arugula, kale, mustard greens, watercress, rutabaga, kohlrabi, radish, Swiss chard, and turnips. 3 additional cups of colorful vegetables per day, excluding white potatoes or sweet corn. So after that, they wanted people to eat 1 beet a day. And most likely that was for nitric oxide production, and obviously that dark red, which is great for the blood too. So let's just look at their vegetables for a second. 2 leafy greens, 2 cruciferous vegetables, 3 additional colorful vegetables, 1 beet. Well, in my book with simple math, that adds up to 8. On the Cabral concept, we've been telling you for the last 7 years to get 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. 7 to 9 servings. It's right there. Do all veggies if you want. But they also said, try to get in. Let me find it right here. I'm going to jump ahead a bit. Try to get in. I know it was 2 cups of low glycemic berries. There it is. Okay. So they wanted you to choose a half a cup to 1 cup of berries. There we go. All right. So then that takes you from 8 to 9. There we go. Right. So again, when people try to tell you that, no, you need to be on a carnivore diet, you need to be on a keto diet, et cetera, you have to understand, like, the research does not say that for longevity. The research does not show that for longevity. These people were eating 9 cups a day of fruits and vegetables, mainly vegetables, which we talk about as well. And they were taking a daily fruit and vegetable blend powder. Again, you have to have antioxidants in what nature provided you all around you. Like, really, really important. And it's not saying that you can't eat meat. These people ate meat. They eat fish, right? So what else do they have per day? 6 ounces of animal protein, all right? That is about the size of your fist, 6 ounces if you have a smaller fist. And they said ideally grass-fed, pastured organic, or hormone antibiotic-free. Amazing that they said that. Really, really great. Oh, then they actually added 2 servings of low glycemic fruit. So that takes it basically up to a cup. So a cup of berries a day to maybe 2 cups of berries a day. Agreed. Totally agree, right? This is sounding like the Mediterranean diet, right? Very, very close. Because they're saying, hey, eat some fish too. Now, what do they not do? Well, they actually had people take out dairy and grains, which I don't disagree with. When you look at the functional medicine detox we do and the CBO protocol, you remove grains for at least 21 days. And then you start to add them in and see if they're right for you. Fantastic. I still believe that oatmeal can be part of a really healthy diet for the right person, right? Like, no doubt about it. Like, we see that. It is a longevity food. So, all right, because it helps with high blood pressure, cholesterol, et cetera, et cetera. Staying hydrated, organic preferred over conventional. I talked about the supplements to add in. They want you to add in spices like the rosemary and the turmeric. Add 2 cloves of garlic a day. Drink 2 cups of green tea and or oolong tea. Minimize plastic food containers. Avoid sugar, candy, dairy, grains, and legumes. So I don't disagree with that in the beginning. We remove legumes for people that have digestive-based issues, but again, that's a longevity food. The longest-lived people in the world typically ate about a cup of beans a day, but again, we don't have to. This doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all. And I talked about the nutritional supplements, the multi, the vitamin C. I think they optimized vitamin D. Not positive on that. I know they optimized vitamin A, and they also gave people a probiotic. And let's see what else. They had them exercising 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and they got at least 7 hours of sleep a night. And then they did the relaxation response. All right. So they optimized their nutrition. I've talked about this before, mainly Mediterranean. They got their body moving with exercise, 30 minutes a day. They took good quality nutritional supplements. They slept at least 7 hours, and they calmed their body in some way. This added over 3 years of life to each individual. I'm telling you right now, this was only in 8 weeks. If they did this for a year, you would without a doubt see that they've added probably 7+ years. Like, there's just no doubt about it that they would have got another 10% out of their life. Because if the average age is like 74 to 77, man to woman, you have to understand it's like 7 more years is 10% more life. Like, you can do that. I'm convinced that we can get everybody to 90 years plus now. I'm convinced. So I'm going to keep it at that. I think this is succinct enough that you can do this, that you can absolutely make this happen. I'm going to link it up with all the details at stephencabral.com/20 2482. You know, I can't link up any nutritional supplements, but I did basically state them there. And I'm not going to talk about what we do in our practice. I want to keep this kind of separate and just share with you, this is what the data says. And this is only in 8 weeks. Imagine what you could do if you continue this. So hopefully this was helpful. Of course, do feel free to share this information with anyone you believe it could serve.